Greeting you all, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zakele Jetro Mizobe. Here I'm on behalf of my group called the Masterminds, the best group in education, thoughts and studies. So before I start, I would like to thank our lecturers for giving us this opportunity to research about gender within the sociology field. My group and I, we have decided to create and draw a poster which will aid in depicting our whole presentation in pictures. I will take from our definition of sociology, which means the scientific study of the nature and development of societies and the social behavior. I'll take from society, which means when they form a community, those people living in a community, actually us as people, we are being determined according to gender. And even our social behavior will be determined by gender. That's our definition of sociology. So my group will explain more by starting explaining what is gender according to sociology and the functionalist and conflict theories views of gender, and will include the critiques within these two perspectives and sum up things with a nice conclusion. So it was very important to simultaneously study sociology and gender, which these two make a formidable combination. When studying sociology, we have to include gender. So I will not say all. My colleagues will further explain more within sociology of gender, I think.
Hello everyone, I'm Linda Jameni. I'm going to define the term gender according to sociologists. The sociology of gender examines how society influences our understandings and perception of differences between masculinity and femininity. When I say masculinity, I mean what society deems appropriate behavior for a man, and femininity, what society deems appropriate behavior for a girl or a woman. We examine how this in turn influences identity and social practices. We pay special focus on the power relationships that follow from the established gender idea in a given society, as well as how this changes over time. To put what I've just said in a nutshell, the way in which boys are socialized is completely different from that one of girls. And for instance, girls would be expected to engage in chores like cleaning, cooking, etc. This is to prepare them as they are the future wives. Boys, on the other hand, go fishing, herd cattle, wash cars, and are expected to be strong at all costs. Gender and sexuality are not just personal identities, they are social identities. They arise from our relationships to other people, and they are dependent on social interaction and social recognition. I'll give this time to our fellow colleagues to continue with this presentation to elaborate more.
Hi, I'm Fanafutu Kumalo. I will be discussing functionalist views on gender. Functionalist perspectives is they are based on that society is made up of interdependent parts. Each part has a role to play in functioning of the whole society. So they decide that in order for a society to function well, there must be roles that each part plays. That they believe in that in society there must be harmony, stability, and balance. In doing so, there are roles that must be played by the gender. Functionalists, they suggest that in order to maintain harmony and sustainability in the society, the different genders they must have their roles that they play in the society. Like if you can see here, the man is working here, that they believe that this is the work that can be done by a man, and the woman is cooking with also is babysitting. That means if they proceed with doing their roles that they are assigned to, there won't be any like conflicts, but the harmony will be available, and the society can function well and good. Just to conclude, and my colleague will just elaborate more on the functionalist theories on gender and give some examples based on the chart that we have. I thank you.
Gentlemen, I greet you all. My name is Mkumzeni Madlankosmbat. Please allow me to do my presentations under the topic says, what are the views of functionalists on gender inequalities? So, the views of functionalists on gender inequalities are that they believe that there are social roles that better suited to one gender than another. What does that mean to us? This means that society is more stable when certain tasks are fulfilled by appropriate individuals. For example, in traditional societies, you may have heard about traditional leaders or induna. That position is for male persons. Moreover, functionalist sociologists believe that families are the key institutions of the societies, and they perform a vital role of the maintenance of the society as a whole, as well as for individual members. One of the functionalists, Madrock, said that families reproduces the next generations and ensuring the current society to continue. For example, for the society to continue, it must replace its dying members. Moreover, let us look at the nucleus family. The nucleus family provided the husband and wives. Therefore, wives were regarded as expressive leaders, which means their role were to be taking care of the children and giving emotional support, while husband, their role were regarded as instrumental leaders, and their role were to be the breadwinners and giving protection for the family. As you can see this picture here I've got father and his young boys. He is giving a protection and showing support. While here in this picture we've got father and his sons, they are working here. So in this context, father is teaching his child on how to be a man, what are the roles of the man, what he should do in order to become a breadwinner and provide the protection to the family. While in this picture here, we've got mother and her young girls. He's cooking while he is carrying his child. And here we've got another young girl, and she's looking, and that means she's learning on how to cook. Moreover, let us look at the one more functionalist, which is Chapman. Chapman noted that girls traditionally learn that they are expected to be, their role as a girl is to be a homemaker and wife, while boys learn that their role as a boy is to be a breadwinners and social control of the family, as well as taking care of their societies. As you can see this picture here, the young boy is looking at his father, while here two young girls, they are learning to their mother. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sabi Soshando, and I will be presenting on conflict theories' view on gender. According to conflict theories, society is struggling for dominance among social groups that compete for scarce resources. In terms of gender, men are viewed as the dominant group and women as subordinate group. Social problems are created when dominant group exploits or oppress subordinate groups. In this sense, men are the oppressors and women are the subordinates, which makes it difficult for women to rise above men. Women typically receive more college graduate degrees than men, yet on average, women continue to be less in upper position because they are oppressed by men. Families also play a huge role in perpetuating male dominance by giving men the responsibility of being breadwinners. That means that they are the only ones who are supposed to work and women have to do house chores such as washing dishes and cleaning the house, etc. etc. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ndumiso Ndiane, and I'll be emphasizing on the stance taken by the conflict theorists as they argue that men dominate women in order to maintain the status quo, which is them being dominant over the females. And I'll be focusing more on the context of workplace. As you can see on the graph that this is the corporate, a big corporate, and these are the executive members of this corporate. Amongst them, you can see that there is only one female amongst more than 20 males which are holding that position. Coming here too, this is the hierarchy of a big corporate. You can see that on the bottom, we can find many females as much as we can. As the pyramid goes up, it's become more narrower. As you can see that it gradually decreases. On the top of the hierarchy, we don't find any female executive because these positions are being reserved for male executives, as it is believed that they are the ones who are capable to manage these positions. Now, switching from the context of workplace, we are going to focus on the context within the family. As you can see here that the wife is preparing the meal for the whole family, while the man is regarded as the breadwinner. You can see that now the man has arrived from work and the female is preparing the whole meal for the whole family. This clearly shows that men within the society are regarded as having that power over women. You can see the imbalance between the two. This is the symbol for female and this is the symbol for male. And this scale shows that men are dominant over women. So this is a patriarchal society.
One.
And now I'll hand over to my colleague to go further with the discussion.
My name is Portia Dharma, and I will be presenting on the critiques of the functional theories. Okay, so like any theory, the functionalism has its own critiques. In this case, I will be looking at the critique by Linda Lindsay in her book titled Gender Roles, a Sociological Perspectives. So in her critique, Linda focuses more on the contemporary families part. This means that she focuses mostly on the parts where there are people who are married and they live together. So now, as people are married and they live together, there has to be, of course, a sharing of roles. So her critique is that, the first critique that she gives is that functionalism offers a reasonable explanation for the origins of gender roles. So gender roles date back to the early industrial times where men had to work and women had to deal with the domestic part of the chores at home. So Lindsay critiques functionalists in the point that it has shown very good points in presenting the origin of functionalism. Next, she says, however, that functionalism has been used to justify the male dominance that happens in most families. For example, in a family where a woman and a man is married and they have children, now the roles will be arranged in a way that the man goes to work and provides for the family, and the woman stays at home, takes care of the children, cooks for the man, does the washing of the man, irregardless of what education she has or what kind of jobs she wants to pursue. So in this case, Lindsay says that functionalism tends to ignore the point of inequality in that sense. Also, she says that functionalism tends to support a kind of middle-class family, assumes the role of the provider in the economic sense. So in this case, the man has to provide financially for the family, while the woman assumes the role of the domestic chores. This means that the woman is responsible for the raising of the children, the cleaning the house, and doing so what and what. So in this case, it so happens that women sometimes feel like that they are oppressed and they don't get to do what they like. And Lindsay further continues to say that in this case, specializing roles based on gender, it's sometimes more dysfunctional than functional, as functional theorists like to assume. Furthermore, Lindsay says that contemporary families, like in the case I've just mentioned, where a man and a woman are married and they share the roles within the home, contemporary families simply do not fit the functionalist model. So as much as functional theorists like to believe that the differentiation of roles in terms of gender creates cohesion and adherence cohesion or adherence, Lindsay argues that it causes, sometimes it may end up, in the case of a marriage, it may end up ending the marriage.
I'm Sanesi Konza, and I'll be doing a critique on conflict theorists under the topic of the book that says sociology of themes and perspectives. As we all know that there's a difference between the word gender and the word sex. Normally the word gender refers to the roles as well as the behaviors. As you can see in this picture, the roles and the behaviors that are done by female as well as men. Normally males are known as people who provide for the family and do labor work that is hard, whilst women are known as people who take care of the family as well as multitask some things within the family, like cleaning, cooking, etc. The conflict theory is based on male as being marxist and females as being feminist. By that I mean that male are the ones that are being dominant and females are the ones that are being recessive. By recessive I mean that they have less power within the family. Secondly, that insignification of women between labor and capitalism. When you look at this picture here, you can see that this sign, which represents the male, is the one that is less dominant, but this sign is the one that is more powerful than the other. And the work entitled to woman, as I have explained in the beginning, is that women are either doing domestic work, like this mother here, washing the dishes, or either they are teaching, breastfeeding the child, cooking, cleaning, and etc. So within the society, women are known as people that are incompetent, meaning that women cannot do most of the things or cannot be criticized or maybe measured as people that are stronger than the men. As you can see here, this metaphorical statement that says being a man, it means that you have to be strong because they believe that men are stronger than the woman. So according to Haid Hartman, she believes that Marxist theory is sex blind and can explain how it exploits capitalists, but it cannot exploit how women are stronger or they are less stronger than men. And secondly, the Marxist theory or the conflict theory does not include the transgender people. It only focuses on the gender of males as well as females. So it just does not put in together the gays, the lesbians, and the bisexuals. Thank you.
In this presentation, my colleagues and I have tried to explain gender, both viewed by the functionalist and the conflict theorist. We have elaborated these views visually through this chart, and we have tried to make a critique of these views. Firstly, I will look at the functionalist theorist. Okay, gender roles according to the functionalist perspective are beneficial in that they contribute to the stable social relations. I believe that gender roles are discriminatory and should be not upheld because they lead to inequality, gender inequality. When we're looking at the families, we find that men are more dominant than women. The women are subordinate. Women are seen as people that have to take care of the household domestic work while men have to work. Okay, secondly, I'll look at the conflict theorist view based on gender. Okay. According to the conflict theorist, gender is best understood as men attempting to maintain power and privilege to the detriment of women. Therefore, men are seen as a dominant group and women are seen as subordinate group. Okay, social problems arise when dominant groups oppresses the subordinate. This approach is normative in that it prescribes changes to the power structure, advocating a balance of power between genders. I believe that when women become wage earners, they can gain power in the family structure and can create more democratic arrangements in the home, although they may still carry the majority of the domestic burden. Thank you.